Merci infiniment, Monsieur Craig Johnson, d'être aujourd'hui notre invité à la Librairie Dialogue. Entre autres distinctions, le prix du Nouvel Observateur vous a été décerné en 2010 en France pour votre premier roman, Little Bird. The Dark Horse est le 5e de vos livres traduits en français. Pouvez-vous nous dire quelques mots sur les deux personnages que l'on peut considérer comme principaux, le shérif Walt Longmire et son ami indien de toujours, Henry Standing Bear?
Let's see. I guess I tend to refer to Walt as he's kind of over. You know, he's overaged, he's overweight, he's overly depressed, like that. So he's not your usual hero, because I think he's funny, I think he's insightful, I think he's just a good guy, like that. And so I enjoy writing the books and spending time with him. And then his second in command, like it, I guess is the way you could look at it. His best friend since grade school is Henry Standing Bear. And they're two men that grew up together, like that, one on the reservation, one off of the reservation. Henry's kind of an unofficial sheriff, I guess, of the Indian reservation to a certain extent.
Vous êtes-vous inspiré partiellement de vous pour imaginer Longmire? Dans une interview, vous avez dit qu'un des personnages des Trois Mousquetaires, d'Alexandre Dumas, Athos, vous avait aidé à créer votre héros.
It is true, like that. My mother is of French descent, and so we were not allowed to ignore French literature like that whenever I was growing up. And so two of my favorite books as a child were The Three Musketeers, like that, and also Les Miserables. They always seemed to find a way to tell a large story, but it was always on a human scale about the people. And I guess there's probably a little bit of me like that, but not as much as I wish there was. My wife probably has the best remark about that. She says that Walt Longmire is who I would like to be in 10 years, but I'm off to an incredibly slow start.
Pour cette nouvelle intrigue, The Dark Horse, vous ajoutez un élément original. Longmire agit sous couverture, hors de sa juridiction. Pourquoi décide-t-il de s'impliquer dans cette affaire? Est-ce parce que les violences et injustices envers les femmes le révoltent depuis toujours?
Absolutely. I mean, any kind of, crimes against women are going to be a hot topic issue for him. He has a problem with that. His wife has been dead for about 5 years. He has a very close relationship with his daughter. And so any kind of female interaction, always seems to have a big effect on him. And so what happens is that the sheriff of an adjacent county has this woman who's being charged with killing her husband, but he doesn't really think she did it. And he goes there, and it's the first undercover operation that he's ever been involved with. And I think it's by about page 5 or 6, he says, he makes the remark, I should have understood the inherent difficulties of going undercover in a town of 40. With that small of a town, it's kind of hard to go unnoticed, and so it makes for an interesting situation because Walt doesn't have all the resources that he has in his own county. And in this book, he doesn't have that. He's kind of off and on his own. And it makes for a different kind of book, kind of a high plains noir, I guess.
L'accueil chaleureux que le public français, et en particulier breton, a réservé à vos livres, vous a-t-il surpris?
It really did. It's kind of wonderful because French is the first language that the books were translated into. Like that, we've had a number of other languages since then. But it'll always have a very special place in my heart, France will, just simply because, the French readers did embrace these books about a sheriff in Wyoming, that's kind of wonderful. And to see the response, I can tell that they're getting, because sometimes somebody will ask me, they'll say, well, how do you know they're a good translation? Because you don't speak French. And my answer to that is I knew that they were good translations whenever the books came out. As soon as they came out, all the reviewers talked about how funny the books were, how much humor there was in the books. And my thoughts were, well, okay, if Sophie got the humor in the books, then she got everything else.